Welcome, everybody. So, now, this is going to start off more as a review at first, but then we'll kind of turn into multiple reviews, but then we'll go into a full-blown rant. That's what I'm good at. So what is this about? This is about Resident Evil, not the movies. Those are separate because they suck. This is about the Resident Evil franchise as a game. Now, I'm doing this because I just beat Resident Evil 7. Now, I don't want to say... Well, first off, I do want to say that I was so... And I've said this many, many times throughout my my first encounter with it, that I was continuously blown away by it. And this is true, I was. And I wasn't prepared to be said blown away. No, I was about ready to drop trial and shit all over it. Because I saw the reviews of it, or I saw the previews of it and whatnot. I'm like, this is not Resident Evil. This is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but with no Leatherface, no nothing. It's like, you cannot call this Resident Evil. It's not Resident Evil. I'll get to that. So, I got it for, an offer was made. I got it for free. I played it, and my God, was I just blown away by it. It was beautiful. I don't want to say this was a fluke, because, well, I may not know the proper definition word for word, as I am not Webster. I do know that it means, like, okay, you got lucky. I don't want to say that, because that would make me sound like a dickhead, even though I am, but I don't want to be one right now, yet. But I didn't want them to do this, because I've been such a huge fan of Resident Evil. I didn't want them to do this because they've been straying from what made them great before. And it was like, alright, this is... It's dying. Like, you're killing it more and more with everything you do. Now, how did it start off? It's like, well, it was, and if I'm not mistaken, like, I think it was the first of its kind. I want the first one. I mean, I think it started before everything else, because there was Resident Evil, and then it was like, oh well, that worked. Well, here's Silent Hill. Oh, here's Dino Crisis. Well, here's this. Here's that. There's that. It was a survival horror. I think it was the first one. If I'm mistaken, I'm sorry. But I don't know if I am. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just saying that the first one was epically amazing. The dialogue was cheesy as fuck. The gestures were unnecessary. I mean, you got this guy named Wesker who looks like Val Kilmer and wears his sunglasses at night. He does. You'll see. If you haven't. But I will be going to war with them shortly. So yes, we will see it all over again. As well as mostly everything I'm about ready to discuss. It was always just plenty of this, plenty of that, plenty of this, plenty of this, plenty of that. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you swiping at shit? What is going on? And the dialogue was awful. They walk into this mansion like, what is this? Wow, what a mansion. Stop it. Don't open that door. Like, oh, who the fuck choreographed this and fucking recorded the video? Was it William Shatner except someone else? Because it was like, But that's beside the point. It was, the graphics by today's standards are god-awful. But at the time, was like, oh wow, this is awesome. This is great. Just I love it. So, and during like the big things in history, oh, I'll never forget where I was when this happened, or I'll never forget where I was when that happened. I will never forget where I was the first time I saw the ending for Resident Evil 1. Where was I? In my bedroom. But it was the first time I ever bore witness to a good guy turning into a bad guy, and that pretty much just like changed my youth. It was all about, oh, good guy this, good guy that, Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, goodness all around. And all of a sudden, Wesker, like I said, Val Kilmer, with bad choreograph and dialogue by William Jack. All of a sudden, you did a fine job, Barry. It's like, what the hell? And then Barry whips out his fucking hand cannon at Jill's head and goes, you did a fine job. It's like, oh, what did I just say? That was the day I found out that's... Okay, I can't spoil that for people that don't know. That's when I found out the tooth... Can't spoil that for people that don't. That's the day I found out the Easter but can't give that one up either. Damn it. But that's the day I realized the world was real. I guess that's just the best way to put it. But yeah, it was just, oh my god, it was so perfect. It was great. But the fact that it succeeded the way it did, you knew it had to give more. So it was like, alright, cool. And then Resident Evil 2 came out. And it was like, and okay, before I even get to that, the size thing. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean the simple fact that, yes, the zombies were human height. Average, good. Dogs were the size of dogs, yes. The snakes at first were about the size of snakes. Alright, this looks legit. Crows were the size of crows, and everything else in between. So it was like, swell, they're not really making this look like a big flop. That comes later. No. Until they got to the point where it's like, okay, well, here are some spiders. Okay, first off, no. I don't like spiders. Don't do that. But then they're like the size of fucking coffee tables. And it was like, whoa, if I ever saw this, I'd shit somebody else's pants. Massively. I'd shit like 4 people's pants if I ever saw that. Now, then of course they had the big gigundo snake. And it was like, I like snakes, so that is cool. And then the hunters, or the gremlins as we called them, was like, okay, they're not that big, but I like it. Then they had the sharks. It was like, okay, the 2 sharks look realistically sized. And then you got this big Jaws-looking motherfucker. I'm pretty sure that's real out there somewhere. I don't know. Then it was like that big Plant 42 thing. It was like a big gigantic brain filling spores and like dicks coming out of the bottom of it. And it was like, oh. What the hell is this thing? I like it though. It's interesting. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. So then you have the Tyrant at the end of the game, and it's about the size of Andre the Giant. Now, nothing wrong with that. He was a legend, God rest. So, the fact that you got to play the game in 2 different type scenarios, that was cool. You either played it as Chris, you played it as Jill. We will see me do both of those. The fact that they had their own separate characters. Barry was never in Chris's scenario, as we'll see. And Rebecca Chambers was not in Jill's scenario, as we'll see. But it was cool, it was great, it was cheesy as shit, but fuck was it awesome. So, moving on to Resident Evil 2. In a way, it was better. In a way, it was not as good. So, here's why. Here's why, everybody. So, they went with the concept of bigger is better. Not necessarily. I mean, yes, they had the dogs. They had the zombies. They look more slender, and they have more dialogue than just... like... I don't know. But yeah, there was more variety of them. They had fat ones. Those were cool. They still had dogs. They still had the overgrown spiders for some reason. They still had the crows. Yada, yada, yada. But then they introduced, like, the lickers. The inside-out things with, like, the fucking, like, 4-foot-long tongue. It was like, fuck is this thing? Oh, they gotta have something to take the place of the gremlins. So it's like, yeah, okay, I mean, they lick you. That's cool. Dogs do it too. So do freaks. And drunk people. Happened to me at the club numerous times. It's true. Yeah, so you got lickers. And I was like, alright, cool. And then they had, like, plant creatures. I don't know. But the craziest thing, what... Like I said, the bad part about it was they introduced the bigger is better. What do I mean? The main bad guy of the game, William Birkin, awesome idea. The fact that he created this new strand, and they're like, well, we want it. Well, he might not play ball properly, or will he? Well, we're cheap. We're not buying it. We'll kill him and steal it. So it was just like, oh, there it is. Kill him. And all of a sudden, oh, they got my thing. And all of a sudden, just, haha, no, they don't. Shit. Oh, well. Try this again. Like, well, no, you ain't got all of it. And you just, and all of a sudden, just, it's just fucking, oh, man. I did not get much sleep. I don't care. That's why they call me Crazy Juan. But then he just evolves. And it's just, okay, he's a human-sized. Okay, then he's a little bit bigger. Okay, then he's the size of the tyrant in the first one. And it's like, okay, then he's got 4 arms. Why? Now his head goes like, and turns into his boob while he grows the head of an eagle that looks purple. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? And then all of a sudden he has this big gaping hole in his chest. What is happening here? And then he turns into like this big walking tank that is on 4 limbs and has like 100 fangs in its mouth. It's like, why is this a thing? And then, as you'll find out after playing the second scenario, he ends up evolving into something that cannot fit in the compartment of a fucking train. And it was like, huh? And, you know, it just, oh, I have to move slowly. Oh, I'm getting closer. You done shooting me yet? I'm getting even closer. Are you done shooting me yet? You better hurry up and kill me because I'm getting close. Now he dies. And then after that happens, they have the ending cutscene where he is growing outside of the train because he can't contain himself that anymore. It's like, bigger is not always better. Quality over quantity, I say. Now, what made it better is the fact that the 2 scenarios, unlike the first one, actually intertwined and you found out how. It's like, okay, I'm going to play as Leon first. It's like, oh, Leon storyline, Leon storyline, Leon storyline. Zombies, blah, lickers, boom, things, Ada, yes. But then it's like, oh, well, there's Claire. It's like, okay, cool. And then, giant alligator. Claire, and I was like, I like it. Ada, I like it, kind of. And then you beat it, and it's like, okay, well, now you have to play as Claire, and you're finding out what she was doing, like where, what, and how she was doing shit, while Leon was out doing his shit, and then you find out was, oh, you get to this point where he met with her in the first one. It was like, oh, so that's what she was doing when he was doing that. It was like, and it happened so damn well. It was like, oh, this is happiness. There were some parts of it that didn't make sense and that didn't really mesh well, because in the second scenario, scenario B, regardless of whoever you played it, introduced like this cyborg sent from Umbrella, I think, to just, okay, guess what? He crashes through the roof, makes this door like totally blocked with debris so you can't get out of it, although that never happens in scenario A. And they're supposed to be happening at the same time, so it was like, we've seen a paradox in my Resident Evil, Metal Gear Solid 3 videos. It's happened a few times. It's like, no, stop. What are you doing? Be consistent. But all in all, it was great. Now, then, actually, I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause this. It's 15 minutes. Now I'm going to go into what I think is the best Resident Evil out of all of them. Regardless of what anyone says, it's my favorite. So, which one's that going to be? 3. Nemesis. Rightfully should have been the last Resident Evil. So, I'll be right back. Till then, you all stay classy.